welcome everyone, and thank you for your interest in this RFP. The first thing, I want to introduce you our team. I am Bingqing Liu, the Deputy Director of Restore Act Center of Excellence for Louisiana. For short, we also call it LACOE. Also with LACOE, today we have our Director, Melissa Boston, and our Chief Scientist, Elisa Dosmine on this call. We also invite Ed Haywood and Summerland Guo with CPRA sitting in this webinar. Also welcome Daniel Johnson, Director of Grants and Contracts with the Water Institute of the Gulf. Also with the Water Institute, welcome Alison DeYoung. She will help us monitoring the questions through the webinar. And also thanks Amy Wood, Charlie Cameron, and Jared Falcon for setting up this webinar. Really appreciate the help from you all. Well, I have shared my screen and I'm gonna go ahead and give you a presentation today and help you know more about Center of Excellence program and walk you through the RFP. Before I start, let us know if there's anyone having trouble seeing the slides. Well, fantastic. We don't have any response for now. I assume everyone is good. Just as a reminder, as you saw, this webinar is being recorded and we will make it available to public within a couple of days on our website. Also, a few housekeeping notes. All participants are placed on mute automatically. If you do have any question, please let us know your written question by using Q&A function with Zoom. And please do not unmute yourself during the webinar. And also, I want to take this opportunity to suggest you to go through the frequently asked questions, the FAQs on our for our RFP, which have been posted to LACOE website. Those are really good and help questions for this RFP. And any other follow-up questions after this webinar shall be submitted to LACOE by email. This is our email address. And to keep transparency, the questions won't be responded by emails. The final answers along with the questions will be posted to LACOE FAQs webpage within 5 working days. And the last day to submit your questions, if you have questions, the last day will be April 2nd, 2021. And the next thing I want to do is kind of give you an outline of what I'm going to talk about today. Basically, I'm going to give kind of synopsis of what are the Restore Act and the Center of Excellence for those who may not be that familiar with us. Then I'm going to give a kind of overview of this RFP, like different proposal types we are soliciting from this opportunity. Also talk about the numbers of anticipated awards. Later on, I will invite Melissa to talk about what research topics and what type of research activities we are looking for and expecting to fund through this RFP. I will also touch on some important dates that I want to make sure everybody keeps in mind as we go forward through this process. Also including an overview of what is the review process for the letter of intent and the full proposal look like for this opportunity. Finally, I will invite Daniel to hit on the eligibility and the submission system to apply this opportunity, as well as the future award administration. Well, first, some background knowledge. As Gulf States coastal community, I think most of you might be very familiar with the Deep Horizon oil spill event. In April 2010, BP's offshore drilling unit Deepwater Horizon exploded. This was the largest oil spill reported in US history. It's caused widespread damage to environment and ecology of the Gulf Coast states. So on July 6, 2012, President Obama signed the Resources and Ecosystem Sustainability Tourist Opportunities Revive the Economies of the Gulf Coast States Act. This is so-called Restore Act. And the Restore Act later on established the Gulf Coast Restoration Trust Fund in the US Department of the Treasury and directed 80% of civil penalties associated with Deepwater Horizon oil spill into this trust fund. It is approximately $5.3 billion, which is currently being used to fund restoration of natural resources and economic recovery in the Gulf Coast region. Well, as part of Restore Act, 2.5% of funds are dedicated to the establishment of centers of excellence in each of the 5 Gulf Coast states. Well, let's look at the Centers of Excellence research program. Among these 5 Gulf states, we all have established our own Center of Excellence. Let's look at them from west to east. In Texas, we have Subsea Systems Institute and the Texas One Gulf Center of Excellence. Here in Louisiana, we are the Restore Act Center of Excellence for Louisiana. Move to Mississippi, they have Mississippi-based Restore Act Center of Excellence, then Alabama Center of Excellence, and the last one is Florida Restore Act Center of Excellence program. Each state will receive approximately $26.6 million through 2031 for Center of Excellence program. Same as other centers of excellence, LA-COE is currently designated by the US Department of Treasury, and our first grant was got approved by Treasury in October 2015, and the funds came from US Department Treasury to our state agency, Coastal Protection and Restoration Authority, CPRA, and then finally to LA-COE. And we did questionnaire at the end of our first grant. Based on the questionnaire feedback from the PIs, some of them asking the role of CPRA and the Water Institute for LA-COE. We feel like it's better to include one slide about LA-COE's administration to help you better understand how the center operates. Well, CPRA is LA-COE's project sponsor and a contract manager with ultimate responsibility over LA-COE. We really closely work together for the center's operation. And as I introduced at the beginning, the key personnel responsible for LA-COE program at CPRA are Ed Haywood, David Lindquist, and Summerland Guo. And also, LA-COE is a separate program within the Institute's existing organizational structure. And the key personnel responsible for LA-COE activities and oversight are the director, chief scientist, and the deputy director. We also have an executive committee, which is comprised of senior research officials from Louisiana's universities and research organizations. We also have external review board, which is a group of independent scientists and engineers from the universities located outside of the Louisiana. External review board, along with the subject matter experts, they were involved in the future proposal review process. Yeah. Next, let's look at the mission of LA-COE program is to support the research directly relevant to the implementation of Louisiana's Coastal Master Plan by administrating a competitive grants program and providing the appropriate coordination and oversight to ensure the success metrics are tracked and achieved. So we will also take this opportunity to recommend you go through the Coastal Master Plan, which is developed by CPRA and will be updated every 6 years with the input from citizens, legislators, partners, representatives, and the stakeholder groups. This is a link for the Coastal Master Plan version 2017, and the next version will be 2023. So once you go through it, you will get a better idea about the mission of our program. Through the funded projects, we really want to provide the coastal community the timely, robust, and actionable research to improve the understanding of coastal and delta systems dynamics with the relevance to coastal master plan implementation. And we want to generate data sets, the models, and other tools that can be used to improve the restoration and management that support the sustainable and the resilient coastal ecosystems and communities with Louisiana. Yes, as I introduced, we got our first grant approved in 2015. So we announced almost $3 million for the first RFP. We supported 13 projects, which were completed last October. Well, this map will give you a general idea that the study area of the RFP1 funded projects, they are highlighted by the PI's last name. If you are interested in more information about RFP1 can be available on our website under the funded research webpage. To summarize RFP1, we have made 8 data sets available to public. And I'm sure we'll have more data sets uploaded from RFP1. We supported 36 students and published 15 journal articles through RFP1. Well, you can also check our Google Scholar account. We will continuously update this account. You can follow it and track our publications. It will have all the publications from RFP1 and future RFPs. You will see what type of research we have done in the past and what type of research we are doing and supporting currently. All right, I think I covered the most important highlights from the RFP1 and about the COE program. Before I jump to the overview of our new RFP, please let us know your questions, your written questions, and also the answers will be posted on LA-COE FAQ's webpage within 5 working days. If you're wondering where's the FAQ webpage, just click on the research grants. It will direct you the request for proposal webpage, and there's a link for FAQs. It has all the questions from different applicants for this RFP. Very useful information here. Well, let's move to the request for proposals cycle 2. In short, we will just call it RFP2, since it is our second grant, which was got approved by Treasury in May 2020. We have released it earlier this month on February 15th. I think most of you might have gone through the RFP document, but if you haven't done that yet, it is also available on our webpage. Also under the research grants and the same page, there's the link for RFP2 document. There's approximately $2.3 million available for the research, and we are expecting to have up to 10 awards for this opportunity. Let's look at more details about the award information. There are 2 types of awards through this RFP. One is for research awards and another for graduate studentship. All the awards, I mean the future projects, should be completed within 2 years' time. We are planning to have a total of $500,000 for graduate studentship, and we are expecting 5 awards under this category. Each one should be less than $100,000. And the remaining funds, which is $1.8 million, are all for the research awards. Similarly, we are planning 5 awards for this category, and the 3 awards should be less than $300. And another 2, which is for relatively bigger projects, should be less than $500,000. Well, if you are familiar with our last RFP, you will notice that there's a slight difference For RFP1, we have 3 types of awards. As I listed here, the collaborative awards, research awards, and graduate studentship. But this time we don't have collaborative awards for RFP2. Just a clarification so that you could be aware of this change. And small notes for you is that these levels of awards will be adjusted if the proposals submitted in each category do not total the designated amount. And cost sharing or matching is not required for the LACOE awards. Next, let's have more detailed information for each type of award. For graduate studentship, a letter of intent is required, which is also different with RFP1. In last cycle, we did not require LOI for graduate studentship, but for this RFP2, we will do the LOI for graduate studentship. Please be aware of this change. And the PI on the proposal must be a full-time employee of a Louisiana college or university. The awards provide funds for the full-time graduate student stipends, tuition, and minimal research expenses to support a graduate student, either master or PhD, at Louisiana college or university for up to 2 years' time. The students must do research that support the research topics and activities specified in Section 3 of RFP2 document. And later on, Melissa will touch on this section. There are some notes for this type of award. Well, the first one is very important. The graduate studentships cannot be used to support the work proposed under the following research awards category. And the second point, the internships with the private organizations may be included as part of graduate students training, but the funding for the organization's expense cannot be supported by LACOE. And the next type of award, research awards. Same as graduate studentship, a letter of intent is also required, and the PI must be a full-time employee of the Louisiana organization or institution, and other co-PIs may be from any organization or institution within or outside of the Louisiana. These awards are expected to support the research topics and activities also identified in Section 3 of RFP2 document. We hope they can help to produce findings that are directly applicable to the regular update and implementation of Louisiana's Coastal Master Plan. Well, this research can be done based on field work and the lab work, also computer modeling, archive research, surveys, and data analysis and synthesis. We highly recommend the inter-organizational proposals because we are looking for the cross-disciplinary research to address very complicated and critical issues for coastal Louisiana. In addition, if those proposals include very meaningful roles for the students, like the great training opportunities for students that relevant to the implementation of Coastal Master Plan will be viewed favorably. Next, I will turn it over to Melissa, and she will introduce us the research topics we are looking for through this opportunity. Thank you, Melissa.
Thanks, Bingqing. Okay, so these are the RFP2 research needs. For this RFP, we are targeting specific research needs, and that can be found in Section 2.3 of our RFP2 document. So the research needs document broadly and outlines the research, modeling, and monitoring needs for informing Louisiana's Coastal Master Plan. The research needs are organized in 5 topical areas with a description of the rationale and potential outcomes to directly support the Coastal Master Plan. So those 5 major topics are topic 1, hydrology and hydrodynamics of riverine, estuarine, and coastal systems. Topic 2, estuarine and coastal ecology. Topic 3, geotechnical, structural, and coastal engineering. Topic 4, deltaic geology, geomorphology, subsidence, and sediment dynamics. And then topic 5, human dimensions. So for this second funding cycle, the targeted research needs were selected from our research needs document and are targeted with specific research activities. So please pay attention to those research activities. At least one of the 17 research activities must be described in the letters of intent. Please double check that your letter of intent has one or at least one of the 17 research activities described. If it does not, it will not be reviewed favorably. Thank you, Bing-Cheng.
Okay, thank you, Melissa. Let's move on. Okay, I mentioned the timeline. Here's very important dates to keep in mind about this opportunity. We issued RFP2 earlier this month on February 15th, and today we are having the RFP2 webinar. And March 5th, that's the LOI, the letter of intent due date. By 5 p.m., you will need to submit your LOI through our submission portal. Here's the link for the submission portal. And on March 19, we expect to provide PI's feedback about the LOIs with our decision and the reviewers' comments. But you know, these are very challenging time as the COVID-19 crisis is ongoing. We might face slight delays in the review process. If it does happen, LA-COE appreciates your patience during this challenging time. And you know, notify PIs shortly thereafter the recommendation results from the LOI review panel, and then the full proposal will be due on April 16 by 5 p.m. Again, please submit your full proposals using submission portal. We can't accept anything by email or fax, I don't know, or hard copies. All those required documents should be go to the submission portal this time. And yeah, at that time, I think those PIs who are invited for full proposal will have access to the required templates for the full proposal. And then we will start the review process with the full proposals. And I will talk more about the review process in a moment. And then by late July 2021, you know, you will know the full proposal is awarded or not. If you are awarded, the awards should be executed in August of 2021. Well, next, I want to touch on the review process for letter of intent and full proposal. So for letter of intent, we have an independent panel with multiple subject matter experts, and we do the review based on 2 categories. One is relevance, which is including whether the proposed research addresses the research activities and the topics detailed in the RFP document, which is section 3 mentioned by Melissa, and also the implementation of coastal master plan for this funding cycle. And there are 3 level score, which are low, medium, and high. And the next category is scientific merit, including the contribution to the existing knowledge, theoretical framework, and context, and demonstrated understanding of the system to be studied. Same as the first category, we have 3 levels of score, low, medium, and high. So once the LOI are reviewed and you know, we get feedback to the PIs, and then you are making your decision on whether you want a full proposal. In the feedback of LOI to PIs, you will have chance to see the comments from all the reviewers. Well, next, for full proposal, the way the review full proposal are currently set up, basically, the review procedures including independent evaluation of each proposal by multiple subject matter experts, independent scientists with the external review board, and also assessment from LA-COE and CPRA based on 6 categories. Here are the 6 criteria. The first one, relevance. Second one, scientific merit, which are exactly same as I mentioned for LOI review process. And the third one is appropriateness of methods and approach, competency of the team, capacity building, and appropriateness of budget. Next, I will list the details of these 6 categories and also their relative score in this table. Basically, the reviewers will be asked to evaluate your proposal and the range based on these categories and give you comments. Again, you will see the process looking the relevance is weighted very heavily. The score is 35. And if you are wondering if your research idea is relevant or not, I encourage you to check out the extensive list of suggestions and the examples of research activities for each of our focus areas in the RFP section 3. You can really see the objectives and the goals and the research activities that we had laid out there. This table is also in RFP. You can dig into the details and better prepare your proposal when you are invited for the full proposal submission. This is kind of a review process for both letter of intent and the full proposal. Next, I will turn it over to Daniel and introduce the eligibility for applying this opportunity. Also give some instructions on our submission portal and the future award administration. Thank you, Daniel.
Good morning, everyone. I just want to tell you a little bit about the eligibility. These things are also found in the RFP2 document, but in order to be able to even apply into the system, you all have to be either an academic institution, you can be a private firm, a non-governmental organization, nonprofit, and governmental agencies are eligible to apply. But the lead must be located in the state of Louisiana. And so I know we have kind of went into two buckets now rather than 3 buckets of awards. Just know that the lead PI has to be in the state of Louisiana. Federal agencies can apply and participate in proposals, but there's a catch for this. So if you're a federal agency, you have to get advance notice before submitting the proposal. And so as a rule of Treasury, we can't make a subaward or an award to anyone that does not have a DUNS number. So that is a high eligibility requirement. And also the people that work at CPRA or Water Institute staff, we cannot participate in any letters of intent. We can't be part of any of the research teams. We can't even assist you all in developing your proposals in any way, including providing a letter of support. So those are 4 highly eligibility requirements that have to be met. And I'll tell you a little bit once we kind of get into the next slide. And when I walk you into the system, you guys will see that we do have an eligibility quiz that you have to pass. So the first thing on the next slide, you have to set up a user account, right? And so that means you all have to go to our new system. So if people who submitted RFP1, we had a different online grant portal. It was called Cyber Grant. We are not using that system. So this is one thing to note, it's completely different. So it's SurveyMonkey Apply. You all can go to the website. You will see here, we kind of gave you a snippet of what you have to enter. So it's basically name, email, and you will get a link to your email that you use to set up your account. You have to activate the link because what happens if you go in to create an account and you don't activate your link, you will not be allowed to submit an LOI. Inside of the system, you guys can have collaborators on your LOIs. I will show you in a second how you can add them into your portal so that they can give input, or if you guys have folks that have to approve of you submitting an LOI, you can also invite them as collaborators into the system and they can also grant their approvals. Or if they just have to update something in the system that you put in, they can also be invited inside. These accounts that you create will be used for the life of the proposal. So You'll do an LOI. If you're invited for a full proposal, you'll do the full proposal. We're also going to manage the awards in the system as well as all of the reporting. So I know round one, we were getting, reports via email. We were getting invoices different ways. Everything for the grant itself will be inside of this portal. So these accounts are specific to you as a PI, as the lead PI. So I'm going to take, you can go to the next slide, Bing, and then I'll kind of walk you guys through the system. So once you log into the system, and I'll show you here in a second, I'm going to talk to you only about the letter of intent submission. So the LOI is very short, as you all can probably tell from the RFP too. So we basically have 5 tasks for you to complete inside of the portal. So the 5 tasks are just some basic details, which is just some information about your university or your organization, private firm, what have you. We'll get cover page information from you. We'll get your narrative will be uploaded in the system, as well as your collaborators document, but we do give you a template. So I know we posted templates out on the COE website. We also give you access to those while you're in the system, just in the event you may not have downloaded it from the website. We kind of, have it there for you inside the portal. When we do get to the full proposal phase, if you guys are invited or encouraged to apply, hope everyone is, we will do a more detailed kind of manual for you guys to help you get through the full proposal. So I won't take up too much time with trying to get you through all of those tasks, but the system is the same. So if you're encouraged to apply, we invite you back into the system and you just keep going and including those extra documents that are the requirements for the full proposal. So I will take the screen now from Bing to just kind of walk you all through the actual system.
Thank you, Danielle.
You're welcome. Can you all see the screen? Oh. Okay. So once you guys log in and you pass the eligibility quiz, right? So it's the, am I in South Louisiana? Am I full-time, lead PI? You will be approved to get into the system. And so you'll have 2 eligible programs. So depending on what you're applying for, you will click more information here. And then it'll give you kind of the same information we have in the RFP, but it's kind of here for you at the screen for you to see. And so you would just basically come in here to apply. You'll get access to be able to put in a short name for your application. This is not, the full project title, but this is just for PIs who will apply for one of each of these. When you log in, it's kind of a short name for you to see. So I'm going to go in and I put in my test name as you see here. So this is your test. And here are the 5 tasks that you guys would need to complete, which is kind of what we showed you on the screen. The basic details will get you through what, my organization information, address, DUNS number, kind of those things that we kind of ask you for your eligibility. So we're kind of really getting into, getting that information from you. You save and continue, and you just move through the portal. So you come in and who's the lead PI, you put in your information. If you do have co-PIs, you can select the drop-down box and put in who, and if you have a co-PI. If you don't, you don't.
Hey, Danielle, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it seems your screen is frozen.
It's frozen.
Just on the first page, there's 2. Yeah.
Can you see it now?
Yes, thank you.
Oh, that, okay. Yes, sorry. Let me go back. All right, so we come in, you can see the basic details. So this is the first task. Once you put in your information, you're gonna save and continue. If you do not complete a field, it will not let you save and continue. So you do have to complete the fields. Once you're done, you can mark and complete, which means this task is done completely for you. If you save and continue, it allows you to come back and forth and make edits as you need to. Your cover page information for investigators, this is for whoever is the lead PI, and then it gives you the opportunity to put in your co-PIs. Can you guys see the second task? Okay, good, maybe it's fixed now. Your third task is the cover page. So this is where it really gets into what am I doing? So I'm gonna select whatever my program is, put in my title, how long of a project, 12 months, 24 months, your approximate cost, and these are the 17 research activities. You have to select at least one. If you don't select one, you will not be allowed to move forward or even save and continue. And so what we've done is we've listed the 17 activities, but at the end, we've kind of put what topic area it goes with, just so you can, you might not have the RFP next to you, but it's kind of a quick check. So you can say, okay, well, I'm going for topic 2. This is my activity. And then the 6 keywords you would put in, save and close or continue. The LOI narrative is the next task. And so this is where you upload your PDF, and it's limited to up to 3 pages. You guys can upload 2 to 3, but 3 is the max. And so you just come in here and you attach the file. So the final task is your collaborators. And so it's an Excel file. If you need the template, we're allowing everyone now to use the NSF template, which I know a lot of people have their collaborators and affiliations in a PDF, an Excel document. You can come click here if you need to. Download the template, and then you just reattach. So once you kind of get through and you've marked every task as complete, you can review the entire document as a PDF. So you will click review, and then you can see the whole compilation of, the whole entire PDF. So a couple of reminders when in this system for doing the LOI, if you put information in a task and you need to update that information, you can. All you would have to do is just go back to the task. Once you get and mark it complete, this little bubble will complete to a full green circle. So I'm going to take you to an actual application that I've already completed, so you guys can see how that looks. So let's see. Now I took them. So when you put in information, so the first one I showed you guys, I didn't have any information in it. So whenever you do put information into it and you start putting context behind the task, that is when the system recognizes you're inputting data, and then you can go in and add your collaborator. So if you guys had someone that you needed to look at your LOI, you can, once you put in actual information and not have a blank document like I had on the first one, you add your collaborator. When you click add collaborator, you put in their email address. And then you can have them view and edit, right? So that's kind of the same thing we do with NSF, where you can grant someone the authority to edit your document. You can do view or edit, or you can say, hey, I don't want them to touch my stuff. I just want them to see it. And if you want to put a cute little message like, hey, I need your eyes on this, you can do a quick little message, hit send invite, it shoots them an email quickly, and they can log in. It directly takes them to the portal. They'll put in their, they'll log into the system, and then they'll submit their information that way. That's all I have to show you guys for LOI. Again, when we do the full proposal, it's the same system. The tasks are just longer. It's not 5 tasks. It may be 12 or less. So I just wanted to show you guys the system. Again, any questions with the system, please feel free to send them through the email, and we will get a response back to you guys. I will give it back over to Dean to get to the next slides.
Well, the next slide is also for you, Daniel. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Yes. So after we've done all of the hard work with the LOI into full proposal and you guys get an award, right now we're putting July 21st as the date of the award announcement. Fingers crossed. And so we do have some reporting requirements that are somewhat different from the round one. So right now, the biggest change is that we're going to move to do semi-annual technical progress reports. Before last submission, we did quarterly reports. So we're going to move to just doing it twice a year. At the same time, we're going to do, financial statements and invoices and allow you all to do that on a monthly basis versus a quarterly basis. Now, the thing with the monthly invoicing is that we're going to want from you guys a kind of update with the invoice. So like a paragraph of where you all are with the project, just to kind of, know what the invoice and everything kind of ties together. We will have annual COE all hands meetings. We will do semi-annual webinars, of course, with Center of Excellence and CPRA to highlight and kind of share and, all the accomplishments and just to get training on a lot of the data management. And so the final thing is that we're going to do a final report within 30 days of the close. So with the final report, we're going to do all of that inside of the system, but there are requirements because we will need copies of everything. And so in closing out RFP 1, we realized there was a lot of data and there was a lot of things to get at the end. So just kind of reminding everyone, RFP 2, we're going to do the same thing. We can go to the next slide. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Danielle, for the detailed information for the submission portal and the award and administration, really helpful. And I think we covered all the highlights from RFP2 that we want to introduce. And if you have any question, please let us know your written question. And at the end of the webinar, we'll invite Allison to read out the questions from you all to make sure to let you know we received your questions, and we will post the answers to our LA-COE FAQs webpage within 5 working days. And next, I'm not sure if Ed or Summer want to add anything from the CPRA end.
This is Ed. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, I'm surprised I was able to make this work. No, I think you got the presentation really went well. Excellent. I think it speaks for itself. Speaking for CPRA, we're really excited about this program. This is the COE has allowed us to work with the Institute as the center to fund some really good research. It's more money than we've had as far back as I can remember that we can dedicate to research to help us move the needle forward on some of the big uncertainties that affect the program, and we really appreciate all the interest that we've received to date and all the great work that all the researchers have done, that the Institute has done for us. And so, no, I think that's all I would have to add. We really appreciate everybody's attendance today and participation. We're really excited, looking forward to getting the letters of intent and research proposals as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Ed. And again, later after this webinar, if you have any follow-up questions, just email us and let us know. And we are happy to help. And the answers, again, we'll post it to the LA-COE FAQs within 5 working days. And the last day to submit questions will be April 2nd, 2021. And the last thing I want to acknowledge Department of Treasury and the CPRA. And one very important point for the future award administration I want to mention here is that the financial support from LA-COE shall be acknowledged in all the research products and outputs. And the following language must be used in those products or outputs. And this language, this paragraph also available on our website. Please feel free to check out. And if you are awarded, please use this paragraph for your products and the results. And all right, we are really excited about this opportunity, and we really hopeful we can we go to get some great proposals from research community in Louisiana, and looking forward to know the questions. And Allison, will you read out the questions for now?
Sure thing. Let me read what I've got so far. I've got, can a private company serve as a lead on a project, or does it have to be a university or government agency? If our research team is interested in addressing a diverse combination of activities, say 7 and 8 and 17 together, that are all related to a certain geography, do you see that as a combination or separate proposals? I understand that the LOI narrative should not identify researchers or institutions. Are references allowed or expected in the narrative? Must graduate studentship proposals also match at least one of the 17 listed research topics, or can they address other questions or research needs relevant to CPRA or the LA-COE coastal restoration activities, but not explicitly listed in RFP 2? Can you please clarify for the graduate assistantships, they cannot be used for any research topic that is one of the 17 listed in the RFP for the research awards? Can an employee from the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers participate in being a part of research teams or participate in proposal development in any way, including the submission on letters of support? For the graduate assistantships, are COA PIs allowed, for example, other faculty, when appropriate for multidisciplinary research? Are researchers working in foreign universities eligible to participate as co-PI? Can an individual investigator lead one proposal submission for each category, graduate studentships and research awards, or only one overall, graduate studentships or research awards? If you are from the USGS, Lower Mississippi Gulf Water Science Center, do you have to be located in the Louisiana office to be a PI? The studentships are listed for $100,000, including $5,000 for supplies. Since we usually estimate a grad student at $25,000 per year or $50,000 for 2 years, can we seek funding for 2 students on the same proposal? Or is the money meant to support a PI for a summer month lab equipment and travel for the studentships? Is the lead PI the only eligible to submit the LOI? And then looks like many of the questions asked need answers before the LOI due date. Is it possible to receive answers sooner than 5 working days?
Yeah, we will try to do as soon as possible.
Yes. And so I would like to just mention something. Thank you all for these great questions. And so what we're going to do as a team is we're going to review them and answer them. We really want to make sure we give you accurate answers, which is why we're not answering them right now in real time. We suggest 5 working days to give us some breathing room, but we'll likely get them on the website by Tuesday. So we are going to work on this as soon as possible. Don't worry.
All right, thank you, Melissa. We're also looking forward to any follow-up questions that you may have, and we will be posting this recording within next few days on our website, maybe next Monday. Well, I appreciate everybody's time. All right, thanks everybody, and good luck, everyone. Bye.
Yeah, thanks everybody.
Thanks everybody, we really appreciate it.
Thanks.
Looking forward to it. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. How to stop?